Welcome to the next episode of this India series. Thank you for traveling with me so far. We are now down to the very southernmost tip of India in a city called KanyaKumari, where I spent probably a grand total of about 3 or 4 hours, but it was still a stop nevertheless, so here it goes. This has felt like a really long day of traveling, which it has been. I had a 8:30 in the morning train from Kottayam in Kerala to Kanyakumari at the very southern point of India. It was delayed by an hour. Slept a little bit, bits and pieces. Didn't really have much to do, but I planned like kind of where I'm staying in Bangalore. I've booked my flights to Kolkata. I think I had a bit of stubbornness with no, I've got to touch Tamil Nadu, so I'm going to be in Kanyakumari for all of what? Like 4 hours, if that. And in hindsight, I think, although I believe the whole dialogue of there's so much to do in this life that you're always going to miss out on one thing or another, I'm obviously not living it because I had a bit of stubbornness that I have to do Tamil Nadu. But really, what am I going to do in like 4 hours? Either way, I've made some plans. I'm going to go to the beach, not to chill out because it's basically a famous sunrise and sunset point. There's a couple of landmarks to see basically, and maybe hit some of the markets there. And then we'll be off to Bangalore in the evening, I hope. I haven't actually found out yet where I'm meant to be catching the bus from. There's a big language barrier down in the south, so gonna have to vibes it now. Catch you later. That is the Kanyakumari railway station that I've just come out of. I don't know what it is, but it's such a... Well, actually, I do know what it is. You're right at the southern tip, right? But what I was going to say was, I don't know what it is, but why does the breeze here feel so good? And then I realised it's because we're right near the ocean. Duh. Buildings look nice. So anyway, I'm on Google Maps and I found a restaurant that I want to go and eat at first, and then away from there. Once arriving in Kanyakumari, there isn't actually a lot to see. Being the most southernmost tip, a lot of the city is quite contained. So there were a few things on my list that I did want to go and see, but before I could do any of that, I decided to go over to a restaurant called Zamzam in Kanyakumari. Their Instagram is linked below. Please do check them out. Not only is their service great, cleanliness, hygiene, food is brilliant, but they were just the most helpful people possible as well. Because as you know, I have had some trouble trying to navigate around India using their public transport. So one of the things that I discovered, well, I'll tell you what, why don't you hear me talk about it in this vlog clip here. Long story short, if you ever book a bus in India, chances are wherever you originally booked it to pick you up from, it may well be a very different place. And you really only find out about an hour beforehand. And that's if you're lucky and they message you. Otherwise, you have to message them. So anyway, I learned that. Thankfully, not the hard way, but I learned it. So I knew that I had to get some confirmation. I don't know what it is about these numbers or these connections, but either the line is so poor or I'm just not understanding the accents and the language barrier is a bit thicker here. So I asked the guys at the restaurant to kind of do a phone call for me, and they did, and it was super helpful. So basically, I'm now going to be roaming around for a little while. I've got about a couple of hours before I get picked up from their restaurant. So perfect, right? Very noisy, so I'm gonna catch you later on. Oh yeah, I saw a hotel called Hotel Sridevi and I nearly cried. So all of that was happening while I was enjoying this munch in Zamzam Kanyakumari, which you can see what I ordered here. I hadn't had meat in quite a while, so I was quite looking forward to this tandoori chicken. No idli dosa at this moment in time. You can't judge me, I'm having tandoori chicken in South India instead of idli dosa, but I've had idli dosa quite a few times in India, despite not even being in the south. I'm really craving proper chicken jalebi. Green chutney. I know this is my favourite thing at the moment. And of course, I like this plate chip. Funky. Oh, it's piping, literally piping. Good. How you feel? Damn, it's good.
Move that.
And on the recommendation of Sagar, I've ordered Faluda. It's for I'm gonna enjoy this. Peace out.
We
are now in Kanyakumari. I've sorted out my travel for the next leg of the journey because I'm trying to get from Kanyakumari to Bangalore, which I believe I did using a coach this time, but we'll find out about that obviously in the next video. For now, how do I make the most of my 3 or 4 hours in Kanyakumari? The first thing I did was to just walk down. Pretty troublesome because I had both my backpacks on me, especially because this was a very quick stopover. I was walking down. The first thing I did was to walk down to the beach, or you could say it's a beach, but it's more like a pilgrimage site. It's quite stony, down to the waters, like I say, of the most southern tip of India. Along the way, you will see lots of stalls and lots of shops of people selling things, food, artifacts, clothes, etc. So there's lots to see and take in while you are walking down there. Now, Kanyakumari is made up of 2 words. Kanya meaning like virgin, and Kumari kind of like a princess, if you like. And it's considered to be named after the sister of Krishna, who is believed to remove the rigidity from the mind, and women pray for marriage at her temple. So I wonder if that has some of the significance for why this is such a key pilgrimage site for many people. What I remember from that place was the statue. The notable landmarks here are the Thiruvalluvar statue. It's a 7,000-ton stone statue of poet and philosopher Valluvar. I'm pretty sure that is the big one that you can see offshore. It's on like a little separate island where the waves are crashing against it. It was quite a sight to see because there's a lot in terms of people, there's a lot in terms of things that are happening. There was the Gandhi Memorial as well, which is where the urn containing Mahatma Gandhi's ashes were kept for public viewing before it was immersed into the ocean. The other key thing to note about Kanyakumari, or this particular spot in Kanyakumari, is the fact that it has a lot of vantage points, meaning places that you can go to say see the sunset, see the sunrise. Really good photography moments. I wasn't there for any of those at this particular time, but in particular why the water is so considered quite important or prominent for the people of the area, or for Indians in general. It's the place where the Arabian Sea, the Indian Ocean and the Bay of Bengal all come together. Now this phenomenon is a sight to behold because a lot of people come from around the country to come and see it. They look at the different shades of the water from the various viewpoints in town. Now it's a natural wonder which will kind of add to your experience. I specifically didn't see 3 types of colors or 3 different shades, but I can imagine that at a southern point, geography, is quite an important part, a feat to see from a geography mindset, where you can see 3 different types of oceans coming together. Other than that, it was generally a bit of a culturally heritage environment. There was lots of history there. You can see temples, the architecture is beautiful, people are bathing, people are taking photos, people are just vibing there as well. Generally, it's a great wholesome place to spend an afternoon or spend an evening there as well. Finally, as the sun set, I decided to go for a bit of a walkies. As you know, I'm always going to be looking for a local mosque or something, and I did find this really beautiful mosque in kind of like the Muslim quarter of the area, and it was a bit tucked away, a bit hidden, but it was really nice. It was peaceful. I managed to pray my Maghrib there. I believe might have prayed my Isha as well, but I'm not sure if I had the time. And this beautiful mosque to pray Maghrib in before I get picked up from Zamzam. So lovely and simple. The recitation inside is beautiful. This shows up a really nice kind of small Muslim community here that's not too, I don't know, just something about KanyaKumari feels kind of nice. And then I ended up catching the taxi which picked me up from Zamzam Kanyakumari, if you don't remember, and it picked me up from there before taking me to my coach. So what did I write on here? Actually nothing in Kanyakumari, I wasn't there long enough. So Kanyakumari was super short but sweet again. Carrying my big bag was not the one, and the bus communication was a nightmare again, but the lovely guys at Zamzam restaurant were really helpful. They translated and got me a pickup from their restaurant. Also, I had some amazing chicken tandoori. Damn, I missed meat. The overnight sleeper bus was again brilliant, much better than expected. I do remember this one, beautiful. Don't have any footage of it, but it was quite similar in terms of previous ones. Lots of thick cushions, mats, cleanliness, hygiene, electric plug sockets, lights, and sleeping was just nice and smooth throughout. So without further ado, I will now join you. Thank you for joining me on this segment of the India travels, where we have now managed to do north, west, or is it your western? Which side is west on you? North, west and south. We head up to Bangalore in the next video, which was actually not on my itinerary. There was no real reason for me to go other than to catch up with some friends that I had made in Mumbai. Now this was a total detour, kind of against the schedule, but something that I wanted to do, as we've learned already, and you can probably tell from my skin. There's something to be said here, guys, about how your body will tell you whether you're feeling alright or not. My skin happened to be a lot better when I was thriving or flourishing with people and I had been well rested. On the days where the traveling was quite condensed and tighter together. My skin and my eyes, my sleep were not doing the best at all. It's worth noting that for yourself when you are traveling. What is your body telling you? So I'll see you on the next video in Bangalore, where I spent my first birthday abroad. Peace out.